And welcome back to the OneTalk podcast. Here with your host Ryan McCarthy, and today we are joined by Ronan Fairlamb. Ronan is a 16-year-old about to do an 1,800 kilometer run for mental health. So he's running from Sunshine Coast, Australia to Melbourne, Australia. To put that in comparison, that's a 20-hour drive without any stoppage, without any breaks. And he's about to run that all for mental health. This episode is so inspirational, seeing a 16-year-old go out there and get after it, all for a good cause, all for mental health. And as you can expect, there is a story behind it and there's a big why behind it too. And within this episode, he also talks about the preparation he's putting in to do this massive run. And he also talks about how you can support him, how to follow him along the journey as well. So I highly recommend checking this page out, jumping the link in the bio, but also just dive into today's episode and just listen to the inspiration that this young fella puts out there into the world. You know, it's something that I'm very passionate about, mental health. So to see someone like himself go out there, about to go and complete a massive challenge, is so inspirational. But in other news, if you could please leave this podcast a rating, it means so much just in terms of helping this podcast grow and reaching a larger audience. If you could share the podcast around, it means so much as well, just in helping us grow and helping us reach that larger audience and reach more people. And also the OneTalk merchandise is available. Link will be in the bio for that. But without further ado, let's welcome Ronan. Welcome, Ronan. How are you, brother?
Yeah, good, man. How are you?
Doing well, thanks, man. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pleasure's all mine.
Yeah, you know, having someone like yourself, 16 years old, you know, we'll hear a lot about your story today, but hearing someone your age doing what you're about to do is a massive feat or a big accomplishment or a big goal that you've set for yourself.
Yeah, look, it is a massive one and something that I really do hope and strive to accomplish, which is, it is like, even thinking about it now and about to talk about it, it is crazy, you know, a total of 1,800 kilometers for 37 days running straight from Brisbane to Melbourne for mental health. Like, you know, the cause is all for it and the journey's going to be insane. And, but yeah, I'm keen, ready to get in there and achieve it.
Yeah, and like for the people listening, like outside of Australia, Brisbane to Melbourne is a 20-hour drive non-stop. Like that's without taking a break. Yeah, you're doing that on foot.
Yeah, 50 kilometers a day for 37 days. Yeah, it's crazy. Look, it's a big distance, and there's been some people that have done it before me, but I will be the youngest known person to do it. So yeah,
like in the world or Australia?
I'm pretty sure in the world, yeah.
Oh, that's epic.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. It's epic and crazy to think about at the same time. But yeah, look, I feel like it's something that needs to be done. You know, mental health, it's a massive thing across the world, not just Australia. And, you know, I want to do my part. And, you know, it's great to talk about this stuff like we are now, but I just feel like I just got to take some action on it, you know?
Yeah, because that's it. It's like mixing the awareness with the action and doing the both, and then also showing that as well when you document the run you're doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, what better time for this to come together? Because today's actually Mental Health Day. Yeah. Like National Mental Health Day.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Best time to record it.
Yeah, exactly. So I found out today. I was like, oh, shit, that's epic.
Yeah, that is epic. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, well, I mean, it's the way the world works.
Yeah. Universal lines. Yeah. Do you find yourself pinching yourself sometimes? Like before we get into the story, I just want to get your perspective on what you're about to do before we get into the run as well. Like, do you pinch yourself sometimes and think like, this is something I'm about to go and do?
Oh, look, I have these, I call them shower moments. I feel like a lot of people have them. Yeah. But I'm in the shower, and before I turn the shower on, I usually just look in the mirror. I got some music on, and I'm just sitting there, and the realization kicks in. Like, this is something I'm about to do. You know, like I'm really like running 1,800 kilometers, which is like a 20-hour drive. So usually you do that in 2 days. Yeah. And I'm doing this on foot. Yeah. You know, and it is a bit scary, you know, like realizing that this is something that I'm going to do, you know. It makes me think, oh, have I trained enough? Have I prepared enough? Have I got enough? You know, and it just, you know, there's a lot of thought goes into it. And sometimes I overthink about this as well. And that's something it generally isn't very healthy when you overthink a situation like this. But yeah, realization kicks in, man, and it's some scary shit.
I was about to say, when you said you look in the mirror and you have those thoughts coming up, like what are those thoughts or what are those feelings that you're feeling? Is like anxiousness, nervousness, excitement? Is it a mixture of all?
It's definitely a mixture of all. Like, I'll look in the mirror and be like, shit, I'm doing this. Yeah. I'm this person. This is me. This is the name. This is the future that I'm building for myself. Ronan Fairlamb, 16-year-old that is running this far for mental health, like excited and full of joy. At the same time, I get anxious and it's stressful trying to manage all this and trying to get people involved and all of that, as well as actually having to run the whole distance, a lot of thought, I look into that mirror and I'll be like, I think about lots of things go through my head, excitement, anxious, stress. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I come to the conclusion that what I'm doing is something that I'm meant to be doing and that it's just all for the better. It would better me and others around me once accomplished.
100%, brother. It's a great thing you're doing because, like, people will find, like, obviously the challenge itself is going to be difficult and hard and challenging, but people don't see the behind the scenes and the build up towards that. Yeah. Like how challenging that can be as well on their own mindset.
It's been very difficult to prepare. Like trying to get people involved, support team and whatnot. Look, that's been difficult. They've had some ups and downs there and still trying to get a support vehicle for the whole trip with me. Like there's still so much that planning that needs to go in with only 20 such days left to go, It's hectic. People think that that's the easy part, just planning, organizing, throwing a couple cards in, making sure it works out. But really I'm excited for the run because I reckon that's going to be the least stressful part. All I got to worry about is putting one foot in front of the other. Yeah. Whereas right now I got to worry about multiple things at once. It's just multitasking and preparing and trying to organize people as well as myself and try and get things going and whatnot.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Like, I want to segue into the story behind the why and then we'll come into the run because, like, for a 16-year-old to have a goal of running a 20-hour drive, 1,800 kilometers, like, not many people are doing it, let alone 16-year-olds. And obviously there must be a story behind it. There has to be a why because you seem so driven, you seem so passionate. And just by speaking to you and also listening to you on other podcasts, I can tell how driven you really are behind mental health and pushing it. So, like, what's some of the earliest things that happened in your life that started to piece together the passion that you have now?
Well, look, unfortunately, it hasn't been handed to me on a silver platter. I haven't always had this mindset. I've had people around me struggle with mental health. I've struggled with mental health. And look, everyone has struggles, everyone has problems, and look, I could say I still struggle with things. But it's I guess the way people handle with them. And look, in the past, I've handled with things wrongly, and as well as I've seen peers and friends and even close family members who have struggled with mental health really severely handle it wrongly. And I really just want to help and show what I can show and do what I can do and just help as much as possible and try and make a change somewhere, at least start something. Yeah. And if it's something that I can start, then I know that more people can jump on and continue it with me once there's something that started. And that's just the hope that I can start something today with this run.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's just starting the thing because a lot of people get too caught up in the planning that they don't actually take the action. But once you start, you'll start seeing all the other things start to unveil itself.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you just take that initial step, and the initial step, that's the scariest one. But once you take that, it gets a lot more easier, So yeah, look, it wasn't easy for me. I had my problems and I've had people around me have had their problems. And so I've taken my inspiration from that and wanting to do better as a person as well. And look, I wanted to grow and I wanted to become the best version of myself. And so, yeah, look, I've taken this path. I've taken this journey. It's not an easy one, but it's one that I hope to learn more about myself and to, at the same time, help as many people as I can.
Yeah. Especially because, like, for the Australian listeners, like, the statistics in Australia is 8 people a day pass away by suicide. And it's very unfortunate to hear that. Knowing, like when you reflect on the last couple of years, like the amount of awareness that's been put out there, but the numbers are still the same or increasing. It's like it shows the importance to actually show things like the action. Because like not just the good thing about you doing the run is the awareness and the fundraising, it's also you're like showing people a way where they can overcome their challenges with mental health by running, exercising, like things like that you can actually implement on your day-to-day life that will 100%. Improve your own emotional regulation or your own challenges.
Oh yeah, like fitness is a big thing. Like people, I feel like it's talked about, but not enough. But actually consistently exercising helps so much. It clears your mind. You're able to think better. You become healthier and you'll become fitter. And from that, you'll some of your problems will automatically solve themselves. Like, not all of them, but it just makes life so much more easier when you have a fit body and a fit mindset. Because when you go to the gym, you'll notice your mind will get healthier as well. Like consistency helps with that. And as well, when you go to the gym or when you're exercising or when you're running, you have to have discipline to do these things. Yeah. And that's something that definitely helps with your mindset.
100%. And talking about discipline as well, because I heard you talk about on Trav's podcast about finding the dance between discipline and focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you touch more a bit on that? Because it's such an interesting concept and it actually gave me like a light bulb moment.
Yeah, look, well, I find there's moments for me where I'll be disciplined and I won't need the motivation, I'll just do it. Yeah. You know? But the problem that comes with that is I'll have the discipline to do it, but I feel like motivation and discipline go hand to hand. And if you have the motivation and the discipline, you'll have the focus to not get distracted and to do something. But if you've just got the discipline to do something, you'll do it, but you can get distracted, you pull yourself back, but there'll still be moments where you get distracted. So I feel like if you can find, like, because motivation comes and goes, you won't always be motivated to do something, you know. I'm not constantly motivated to do this run, I'll tell you that much, you know. But like, if you can find a way to be motivated and disciplined at the same time in the time that you need to be, I find focus can come a lot more easily when you have a goal that you want to try and achieve. But it's trying to find that balance of when they both can meet to really make something work. For me at least, you know, I find the difficulties to be focused and disciplined. Yeah. So I'll be disciplined to do something, but I can notice I get distracted. I'll be looking around and, you know, and then I'll be like, oh shit, I'm trying to bring myself back in, you know. Whereas if I'm just focused, I won't want to do it. I'll do it, but I'll do it slowly and sloppy, right? So it's trying to find this balance and bring the two together that I feel is very important.
Yeah, I understand that, because like even with myself, like I can be quite disciplined, like a very disciplined person, but my focus more goes away from like the actual bigger picture of what I'm doing. Yeah, because I'm so disciplined and I'm so structured. I'm so much doing this and this and this that I forget like why I'm doing it. Exactly. My focus gets distracted and I start going a different direction. Yeah, I've got to pull myself back. I'm like, no, you need to be back in alignment. Yeah, the reason why you started. Exactly.
You got to focus on why you're doing it, not so much as what you're doing. Because you can lose yourself on that path, you know, especially with my run that I'm doing. If I'm disciplined to do it, and I'll do it, but if I don't focus on why I'm doing it, I'll lose the reason. And if I lose the reason, then what's the point of me running? Yeah. So it's something you need to really focus and you need to bring yourself back into it as often as you can.
And I think on that run too, do you believe like one of the things that'll push you through the times when it gets really tough and gritty is the why behind it all?
Yeah, 100%. It's the why. Like a few months ago, I don't know if you've seen on my Instagram, but I managed to get in contact with Ned Brockman. Yeah. And one of the things that he said to me is the main thing that's going to keep you going, you know, you could have your loved ones there, you could have anyone there, but he said that the only thing that really kept him going was the why he was doing it. That was his rock. That's what helped him keep going, you know. So it's the same thing with any endeavor that you choose to tackle in your life. Is if you know the why, then that's all you really need. You know, why you go to work or why you eat food or, you know, just anything. If you know the why, then you know the answer to your question.
Yeah, 100%. And like just having more insight in yourself, because like listening to you, you're very insightful, especially for your age. I know you're probably sick of people bringing up your age. I know I would.
Yeah, well, look, yeah.
Well, like what, like to get you to this point, like what's made you insightful? Did you grow up where you're very much in tune with how you felt, or you knew how you thought, like were processing and things like that? Or was this a skill you had to learn for the challenges you faced?
It's definitely something I had to learn, but I could say at a young age, I guess I wouldn't say insightful, but I analysed a lot of things and how people acted. Yeah. And because of that, I would then take on their problems, because through analysing them, I would see their flaws and I would take them on. But I would also take on their positive things. And from that, I learned a lot about people and how people work and about, I guess, the mindset and such and such. So it was a win and a loss because of how I guess I was quite empathetic. Yeah. So that's how I was able to learn from other people very quickly. But at the same time, it did encourage me into quite a depressive state, because I would be taking on people's problems as well as learning how they acted. So yeah, I was insightful, but not happy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, yeah, I was, but yeah, just it wasn't handed to me.
Yeah, I understand that, because like when you are like more of like an observer and you analyze things like you said, you can kind of get caught up in your own head too much, and that's happened to me, especially in the past. And I have my moments as well, like where I analyze too much, or there's too much going on in my own head, and I get just too caught up, and I get too distracted, and I just get, you have those moments where you need to realize and come back to your why as well.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's hard. It's hard to do in the moment though. I find, it's like right now you can talk about it and it seems quite easy, but it's not easy to kind of collect yourself and bring yourself back to the why. But there's ways of going about it. Like how we just like 10 minutes ago, the stars, we did some breath work, right?
Yeah.
The breath work. There's many tools that you can use to help you bring yourself back into that situation and find out the why, like we're talking about. So you just got to find the tools that work best for you. And
what works best for you?
For me, I do a little bit of breath work. Yeah. Probably could do it a little bit more often. I find, but the best thing that works for me is music.
Yeah.
Music really hits home for me. I could be listening to anything. I love music. Any sort of music works well for me. But if I'm in my head, I'm overthinking, and I need to clear my mind and come back to myself and look at what I'm doing, I turn to music. Yeah. Because it can be quite healing, I find. I
agree. I'm glad we relate on that, because I've had people ask me, and like, what actually helps you in moments, or what helps you connect? Like, I literally listen to music, like rap and hip hop and R&B, soul type music. Like when I listen to music, like it changes my whole perspective. Like it helps me like rationalize,
100% agree with you on that. Yeah, the same thing goes for me. Like it really just helps. It's an amazing tool. I find music. Yeah.
Have you read much of? Do you know who Eckhart Tolle is?
No.
So Eckhart Tolle is a spiritual teacher, and he's he wrote a book called The Power of Now. And The Power of Now, it teaches like the power of the present moment, how to get in the present moment. But one key learning I took away from that book was the ability to detach emotions from thoughts. So actually, when you get so caught up in the moment, you forget your why. It teaches you the skill to how to actually detach. So what I learned was to be able to sit down, close my eyes, and picture myself like watching my thoughts like a movie. So picture myself sitting down, and I'm on like a lounge chair, and then there's a big projector screen in front of me, and let my thoughts pass. And the thing that I learned was like, you can't let any thought, you can't tell any thought to go, you can't tell any thought to be, you just have to let them be and watch them. It may be painful, some thoughts that come up, if they're negative or intrusive, or some are positive and happy, but you just gotta let them watch and be. But if you practice this for like 10 minutes twice a day, you start learning how to actually detach emotions from thoughts. Obviously, you want to detach the negative emotions from thoughts, but then you're able to find yourself in pockets in life when you are too caught up in your head to actually detach from that. And it is still a practice, something you got to do every day. But for yourself, or even the listeners that want to learn more about it, I do recommend like Eckhart Tolle's work and the ability to detach.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, because like with myself, I used to struggle with like intrusive thoughts back in the day. As soon as I started practicing this, like I don't struggle with intrusive thoughts anymore. There's something you do have to, you got to practice every day. It's like going to the gym. If you stop going to the gym, you're going to stop gaining muscle type thing.
Yeah. Like, God, going to the gym initially, that's hard. Committing to that is hard, but I think it's the same thing with anything you do. If you commit to it, you'll see some amazing results. Like, for me, I started at the start of this year, it wasn't easy. I didn't want to train. I didn't want to do any of that. But, the more I committed to it, the more I did. I've noticed more results. I put more muscle on, more athletic, more fit, healthier. It's just committing to those first few initial months that it just really helps you so much.
Yeah. What got you into exercise in the first place? Like, what pushed you into it?
Well, look, it was... I wanted to, for me, I wanted to become one of the best versions of myself possible. And at the time I was at school, and there was a few peers around me, and they'd be achieving, whether it was good grades or other things. They'd be doing pretty well. They're pretty happy with their life, and at that point I was like, I like my life, but I got nothing going. So I was like, what's something that I can do that'll really put me ahead, and to the point where I'm loving it, and I'm just having the best time. I'm fit, and all that. So I was like, look, maybe I'll just start exercising. I'll start somewhere, right? I'll start somewhere small, and from there, maybe I'll build up on things. So I started exercising, and then that's when after I started exercising, that's when the thought of doing this run came to my mind, and the conclusion was made that I was going to go and do this run. But yeah, it started with me looking at other people and their lives and going, look, yeah, they're doing pretty well, and I want to do pretty well as well.
Like taking inspiration from it.
Yeah. Took inspiration. I was like, look, I'm gonna start something, and if it's just exercising for now, at least it's something, because it's hard. You know, people think you can jump to the top of Everest in one step, when you really can't.
It's a journey.
It's a big journey. You have to take small steps to get there. You know, not everything comes just like that. And I mean, it's different in proportions. Like, people have different dreams. And so, for example, you know, me wanting to run from Brisbane to Melbourne, which is 18,000 kilometers, that's a pretty big goal. And so the steps that I need to take look a lot bigger, but they're still small steps. Whereas if you want to do something else, you know, maybe even let's say you want to climb Everest, your steps are going to look a lot bigger than my steps. If you just want to finish school, graduate, your steps going to look similarly or differently to my steps. You know, everyone's going to take a different pathway, and that's another thing coming back to is don't compare.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't compare.
Comparison is the theft of joy.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Jeez. Theft of joy. Comparison is the theft of joy.
Theft of joy.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
If you look at the external world and you look at other people and you compare yourself to them, you steal your own soul basically, and you start, because I find people, when they compare themselves to others, they compete for the other people's goals rather than actually competing for their own goal against themselves. Yeah. So it says like, this person's jacked and ripped, but before I wanted to be fit and endurance, but now that I see this person and I compare myself and I'm not happy with my muscle size, instead I'm going to try and achieve that person's goal rather than my own. Yeah. And so many people get distracted that way.
The biggest battle you'll ever have is with yourself.
Yeah. And then how tricky is it to try and keep pulling yourself out of that and becoming aware and being observant of your own self?
It's not easy. You know, people think, you know, I'm constantly competing against everyone else when you're really not. Yeah. You're the biggest battle you should ever have, the biggest opponent you should ever face is yourself. Yeah. Because you're always trying to become better. If let's say if you want to grow, if you want to develop, you're always going to be trying to beat the person that you want to be. Yeah. So that's how I think you grow and develop from. You're looking at the person you want to be, and so you're going to have to take those steps. But then that person's going to continue growing because you're growing. And it will never end that way. So you're constantly becoming a better person.
The way I say is like, we all like gifts. The best way to give your future self a gift is doing the action now for yourself. Because in the future, you're going to give yourself gifts from doing the work now. Your future self is going to be thankful that present self did the work. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Definitely. If you put the work in now, you'll see the results in the future. Like, you're not going to get a six-pack in a week.
Nah, no way.
No way. You know, I wish. Yeah. But like, if you do it, if you put in the work in now, 2-3 years down the track, a six-pack or whatever it is you're trying to strive for, you just got to put the work in now, you know.
100%. Like when I was talking about before, like the detachment from thoughts and emotions, and I used to struggle with intrusive thoughts. That didn't happen overnight. So about like 6 years ago, I was the type of person where if you told me to meditate, I probably would have told you to fuck off. Yeah. Like I'm not meditating. Or I used to have a very fixed mindset back in the day. And then I got to the point where I was like, I'll get meditation to try. And it's like, I can't meditate. I'm not the type of person that can meditate. But now like I do it religiously. But it's because I put in the practice and then I saw the rewards. I'm like, this is actually working. This is good. It's like probably the same with the gym, you know. You go into the gym, you're working out, like I'm just sore all the time. This is not working. Then 6 months later, you know, you're in a lot better position than you were. And with me with meditation, I was like, this is something that's adding so much benefits to my life. That was like something I'm pushing to everyone.
And 100%. Yeah, look, it helps. Yeah. It helps. Really, it's good stuff, you know, just doing it now, you know. It doesn't, you know, you're not going to get it straight away. And look, you know, I heard this quote, and I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again because it fits so well into what we're talking about right now. But if you win enough days in a week, you win the week. Win enough weeks, you win the month. Win enough months, you win the year. Win enough years, you win your life.
That's fine. So true.
You just got to take the small steps now, believe in those steps, and you'll be so impressed with what you can do. Yeah. You know, you really, if you take them now, you'll see the results in the future. And it's not going to come easy, but you just got to take those small steps first, and you'll slowly progress to the level that you want to be at.
Yeah, and you got to be aware of like your expectations you put on yourself. So I think people over expectate like what they can do in the short term and underestimate the long term.
Yeah.
When your plan should be the long term because you're going to achieve the goal that way and actually have a plan to get you there, you know, like 1% every day adds to 365% by the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have to do a million things tomorrow to achieve your goal. You know, it's just like you said before, it's like step by step and you'll eventually get there.
100%. Yeah. Just put a little bit in every day. Even if it's just an hour, half an hour, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and then from there you can just build up. And that's the best thing about it is you start small and you can just keep leveling up from there. You know, life's like a video game.
100%. That's the way I play it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. It's better to play real life.
Yeah.
You know, because that's another thing. People can get caught up in video games or not. I used to. I still do sometimes.
Yeah, same. Don't worry. I play a bit of FIFA.
Yeah. Yeah, FIFA's fun.
Yeah, so for your own mental health, man, like what works for you in overcoming challenges? Like what's some actionable items you do? Let's just say for the first one, when you feel like depressed or you have depressive moments or you feel down, like what really helps you get out of that?
Look, for me, I mean, it's different for everyone, situational, but for me, I like to look at myself and then look at why I'm feeling this. You know, I like to accept it. You know, okay, yeah, I'm feeling pretty shitty right now. Why am I feeling shitty? Okay, this happened. All right, what can I do about it? Can I, you know, I look at it from a third perspective, and I try to look at the root cause to my problem, and then I try to see, okay, is it something that I can fix, or is it someone else's problem that I'm just bothered by?
Yeah.
Okay, you know, and if it's someone else's problem that I'm bothered by, I need to go, yep, that's their shit. Nothing I can do about it. You know, it does bother me. I've accepted that. Now I just got to move on. Right? That's as simple as that is. Whereas if it's something, it's one of my problems, then you got to look at it and you go, all right, what can I do? And if you can't do anything about it straight away, then don't stress about it. Yeah. But if it's something that you can do over time, then just slowly work at it like we were talking about before. Because, you know, some things you can fix in a day, some things you need to fix in a few years, you know?
Like you ask yourself quality questions, you get quality answers.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like one key thing you touched on there is like curiosity can actually be the cure for a lot of unanswered emotions and feelings. You know, like if you ask yourself good questions, if you remain curious rather than getting caught up in it, eventually the answer will come up or you'll see a different perspective of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to ask yourself these questions like, why am I feeling like this? You know, what can I do to help myself? What can I do to fix this problem? And you know, maybe not those questions, but just ask yourself questions, I find, and then you'll give yourself an answer without even realizing it.
Yeah. Is there any like self-doubt coming up with this run? Like
Yeah. There's a little bit. Look, I can't lie about that. You know, it's scary. It is really scary. You know what I'm doing, and you know I like to think that I'm capable of doing it. And you know, there's a little bit of it's right now the thing that I try to go by is just this full and utter belief. Yeah. And it sounds a little bit toxic, but I'll explain it in a way that kind of makes sense to me. But I like to believe in myself so much that others interpret it as an ego. Yeah. So then I guess, and then others will look at me like 10 foot tall and bulletproof, right? And because that I've constantly fed this to myself, there's no room for self-doubt because I believe in it completely. And so I guess that's the way I like to view it. And look, originally I'd be terrified. When I first started this and a few months ago, I was terrified, but now I'm like, nah, I'm going to do it. Yeah. I believe in it. It's happening, you know?
I wouldn't call that toxic at all.
Well, yeah, look, it's, I guess, because it's, you take it to such a high level that it can be interpreted as ego. Yeah. Or egotistical in a form, because, you know, people go, because at the moment, there's a lot of things that aren't going to plan for me. You know, I don't have a support team at the moment. And I've had people go, maybe you should call it off and postpone it. Nah. Still doing it.
Doing it anyway.
Still doing it anyways. 1st November, that's the day. That's what I said was. Still doing it.
If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, if there's a will, there's a way. So, look, that in that way, it can be seen as a little bit overconfident and cocky, but I think you have more chance of winning and succeeding if you believe in nothing but it.
Yeah, well, you know? Well, I said to people, or what I say to myself, I should more say, is like, I don't want to adopt a mindset that's not going to make me the most like competitive version of myself. Yeah. Like I won't adopt any other mindset because I know how I want to feel. Like I know my goals, know what I want to achieve. As long as I'm not hurting anyone in the process of it, like I don't think it's toxic unless it gets to a point where, you know, you belittle people.
Yeah.
Like, could you say, exactly.
Yeah.
But like if it's all to internalize within yourself, to give yourself the power to be able to externalize that into the run, I think that's a great thing you can do.
Yeah, 100%. Look, yeah, I just think if you can believe in yourself, you'll achieve so much more. You know, if you really believe in what you're doing, and you get amazing things start happening. You'll start to realize, like for me, I've been going and just continuing. You know, my phone broke the other day, and I was supposed to have a call with who was it? I can't remember, but I think it was a sponsor or something rather. And I was like really pumped for this. I was like, okay, this might be another good sponsor. And my phone broke that night. It fully smashed. I was like, oh shit. You know, and I was like, I think you messaged me that night and we're supposed to lock in the day or something. And I was like, oh shit, I can't reply. You know, I was like, oh, this isn't good. But I just brought myself back in the situation. I was like, no, I got this. I can do it. And I went and found one of my mum's old phones and plugged it all up and I made it work. But it's just a lot of things will happen throughout your life. That's not going to go to plan. Not everything's going to go to plan. But you just need to keep believing in yourself and keep trucking on.
Only control the controllables.
Yeah. Look, the only thing you really, if you want to talk about control, is the only thing in your life that you can actually control is your mind. There's nothing else you can control. You can't control the weather. You can't control anything else except for your mind. And if you cannot control that, then there's not much you can do with your life. You need to first focus on your mind and your mindset and how you perceive things and how you go about things for you to really to start to evolve and start to achieve.
Yeah, 100%. Like the great thing is about when you start becoming aware of this and start working on yourself and start building your mindset, like it all seems something you want to be more motivated to do. But like if you wake up every day and your first thing you do is jump on your phone, and after phone you go and make breakfast and you're going straight to work, and then what moments in between the day do people actually have for themselves where they sit with their own mind and actually process things, you know? Yeah. That's why it's so important, because our brains, our mind is so fucking powerful.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact number, but we've only discovered like something like 5% of our mind's power or something like that. Like really, we're only on the surface layer of what humans can really do with their mind, you know, like these Shaolin monks. Have you seen what they can do? It's crazy what these guys can do. Like with their bodies, and they've strengthened their mind so much to the point that they've now can strengthen their bodies to these superhuman levels. And you know, the things that they do up in those mountains, it's just it's jaw dropping. You know, what the achievements and just what like the kids there can do, like what may seem a super athlete would take 20, 30 years for them to achieve. The kids can do it in their first 10 years of living, you know. And it's all come from their minds. I believe, you know, they conditioned their mindsets and how they perceive life and how they go about their day-to-day life. And they're in their head a lot, but not in a way where they overthink things. They're in their head trying to learn more about themselves. And I feel like people need to leave more time in their day for that. If you can sit with yourself for at least 10 minutes, you know, and just really talk to yourself and ask yourself these questions, any question, you'll learn a lot, and you'll start to see growth.
Yeah, 100%. Like I agree so much, because I had a guest come on ages ago, probably about 2 years ago now. His name's Todd Jarrett. He works like the subconscious mind and reprogramming of the subconscious mind. And he was helping a client of his who got in a motorbike accident and lost feeling from his waist below. And he went to every doctor and stuff, and they said he wouldn't be able to walk again. He'll never have feelings in his leg again. And they started working with Toddy. And Toddy, what he started doing with him was like doing meditation practices while he's doing like subconscious reprogramming while he's in like a deep state of meditation. And I think, I might butcher this, but I think within about 6 months, he's able to wiggle his toes. He's able to ride a push bike again. After all the specialists told him he wouldn't be able to move his legs again.
It's amazing. Yeah. And that's the power of the mind.
Power of the mind.
Power of the mind. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You know, you can do so much. And, you know, I feel like it's something I'll be relying on with this run is my mindset. And it needs to be clear. It needs to be strong. And that's one thing I'm very, very excited for this run is I'll have the opportunity to be in my head quite a bit. Yeah. And I feel like there'll be a lot of growth.
You'll find out who you are.
I'll find out who I am. Yeah. And I'm excited for it.
Embrace the pain.
Yeah. I love it. You know, people grow from adversity, and there's definitely going to be a bit of adversity in this run. So
I think it's a good opportunity to like find love for all parts of self. You know what I mean? Because like when you do something so challenging, like the parts of yourself that you don't like usually come up, like those thoughts come up, those beliefs come up. But once you build a relationship with them, especially doing this for 37 days, I feel like you'll come out at the end of it like a completely different person.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, I would look at it and I go, yeah, but I probably will grow quite a lot, and it'll be crazy, and it'll be awesome to see the change. It'll be all documented, so I'll be able to look back on it, and I'll be able to look at day one of how I look at things and how I act, and then to day 37. Yeah, it'll be crazy to see the difference and the change of who I am. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the beautiful thing about having the perspective of like embracing challenges and looking forward to it. Like with myself, like if I have a challenge that comes up like internally, like I dap myself up. Yeah. I'm like, let's go.
Let's go. Bring it on, baby.
It's time, baby.
Yeah.
So it's like, I love that because it shows a part of myself that I haven't worked on. It's like, cool. It gives me another mission to do, It gives me something else that I can connect with and understand more, because a lot of the things we do, as you may know, like 95% of our life is run by the subconscious mind. And the more things that come up, it's like, all right, cool. Maybe I can work on this and understand this more. So you have more insight within yourself, but then you can teach that to other people as well.
Yeah. Teaching things is awesome. Yeah. Like I'm a 16-year-old. Not many people want to listen to a 16-year-old, but even when I do get a hold of some people and they go, oh shit, what he's saying is pretty cool, and they'll go, oh yeah, I like what you're saying. It makes me feel, I'm doing something that's meaningful. Like even at the age of 16, I'll be talking with you right now, and people go, oh, he's 16. What's he know? But like when some people do take the time to actually recognize what I might be saying, and then they take it on and help and use these tools, it makes me go, I'm doing something something that means something, and it helps me to drive and push forward more and hopefully inspire. So it's I guess that's another big reason why I'm running.
100%. Well, you're inspiring me. Honestly, I'm 26 years old, and seeing someone at your age, 10 years younger than me, doing what you're doing is inspirational, especially because I'm like a youth worker as well. So I work with young people ages 8 to 21, and seeing that what you're doing is like very inspirational for me in my work. So it's going to be epic to see the journey that you're on. I'm keen to see the process longer as well. Yeah. And like for the build up for this run, like I want to take it back a bit actually, when you said you started going to the gym and a few months later you followed the run. Like when you first thought of doing this run, what was your longest run that you've ever done at that point?
like 5Ks.
Yeah, okay.
Like 5, 10Ks. Like.
So how did you go from running 5Ks to be like, I'm running to Melbourne?
I don't know. I think some demon shit happened and possessed me or something. I don't know. I can do 5Ks. Why don't I do 18,000?
Should be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be lightweight. Easy. Honestly, look, I don't know. It was like it was something I felt like I needed to do. I could lift weights, and I was doing pretty good, and I was pretty strong. I had pretty good muscle on me, and I was like, oh, yeah, look, I'm doing good in the gym. Maybe I could try a different area of fitness. And I was like, do running, and then I was like, oh, I'm going a few runs. So I went a few 5Ks. I was like, oh yeah, this is nice. Yeah. And then I just was like, what's something that's really difficult, And I see there's a lot of like those fitness influencers you see out there, and they're all doing weights. Yeah. I was like, oh, weights are hard, but they're doable. Yeah. Running
is tough.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I hate it. Like,
sorry, keep going.
No, that's all good. It's all good. I do hate running. Like I did say this on the last pod that I did with Trav. It's like I started off really hating running, and then the more I got into it, obviously you get those natural dopamine hits and you get more excited to go do it. But still, the first hour of running, I still hate. Yeah. Once you get over that hour, it gets a lot better. But I find running is something you'll never really truly learn to enjoy. Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna do that then. Yeah. I'm gonna do that because no one else is doing that. No other fitness influencer is out there going, oh, I'm gonna run 18,000 kilometers because I enjoy it. Yeah. The same thing. Like when I first started listening to like David Goggins in his book. Like he talked about how much he hates it, but he's still doing it. Yeah, it's like it's the same with me because like lifting weights, it can be painful, but it's like I'm only doing 12 reps. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, but running, it's like all right, I've got 20 Ks left. I've got 30 Ks left, whatever it is, and you gotta push yourself past those moments. Oh yeah, there's a lot of moments you gotta push yourself past. Like I did a 100-kilometer run a while ago now, but
was it flat? Or hills or?
It wasn't hill. No, it was pretty hilly. Yeah, it was pretty hilly. I started up at the top of Mapleton.
Yeah.
And so we drove to Montville. Sorry. We started in Montville and then we went into Mullaney. Then we ran back out of Mullaney, went down. Really, we ended up somewhere in Beerwah, and then we went to Sippy Downs, then we went back up, and then we went into Udalo. And then from there, we went all the way back up Nambour and back up the main hill past the hospital. Yeah. So, look, yeah, if any of you don't know what I just explained, it was uphill and then a little downhill and then flat and then all uphill again.
All uphill, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Especially coming back in.
Yeah, coming back in was
pretty. The hospital.
Oh yeah, it was bad. Like
that the last stretch as well.
Yeah, the last stretch. Look, yeah, I'll give you a bit of rundown of the story. So me and my friend, we went and did this run together, and we started off around 5 a.m. And we did the first 50 kilometers in like 5 hours.
Yeah, wow.
We smacked it out. And we were like, oh, shit, this is going to be easy. Next 50 Ks, we'll just do another 5 hours. We'll do it 10 hours.
Should be fine.
Right? And so like our coaches, 2 of our coaches who train us in the gym, they did a 100-kilometer together as well. And they were like, well, see how you boys go. And we were like, oh, what time did you get? We want to try and beat our coach's time, right? Yeah. And they were like, oh, we did it. I think they said 16, 17 hours. All right. We'll try and beat 16, 17 hours. All right, we can do this. And then we did the 50 kilometers and we were in the 5 hours. I'm like, shit, we're gonna easily smash our coaches. You know, we were getting confident. We were getting up there. I'll tell you what, as soon as we hit 60 kilometers, everything went downhill. Yeah. We started walking, we were crawling, like we were all over the shop. And then the last 5 kilometers, we were like absolutely destroyed. Like we barely moved. We were crawling, yeah. And this was like right at the bottom of like Nambour, this is near the hospital. So we're like, fuck this, we're gonna get Domino's. Yeah. So we went in, we got some pizza, and then we're like, feel so much energized, feel better now. We smacked down a pizza each. We're like, let's run this last 5 Ks. So we walk out the Domino's door, put our shoes back on, we're stretched out, we're feeling good. All right, let's go. 50 meters into jogging and let's go back to walking.
I can imagine.
Let's go back to walking. And so like there was a lot of moments where we had to push past how we were feeling and just, we got to go. Yeah. But yeah, we didn't end up beating our coaches. It took us 20 hours, but I mean, I'm still happy with 20 hours. Yeah,
that's a good feat, especially first ever time just getting out there and running. Like, what equipment did you have? Like shoes wise?
Yeah, I was running with the $20 Kmart shoes. And then we had a high-vis shirt, and then we had just a camel pack each.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what were some of the lessons you learned from that run that you're going to take with you on this bigger run?
I definitely, look, I think one of the bigger ones that I'll take on is I didn't have any music when I did that run. And I as we were talking before, is how I found music quite healing. I actually think that I want to do most of this run without music. And that the reason being is because I was able to talk myself into to keep pushing forward. Like when you're listening to music and you're in the gym and you're doing your reps, you can't really talk yourself into really forcing that next rep up because you're listening to the song. And so I found it was a lot easier to push myself forward because I could hear the thoughts that I was cultivating to myself. And I was like telling myself, keep going. And because of that, I was able to listen to them a lot easier, And so there'll definitely be moments where I'll listen to music, but I feel like there will be less of it when I'm doing this run because I'll need to talk to myself more often to keep myself going, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And just be like, use the music in times where you're like, I'm just cruising along this road. Yeah. And after that, just take it off and stuff.
That's probably how I'll go about it. And, but yeah, and I got better shoes now, which is good.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, great.
Yeah, I got an anonymous sponsor from my gym. Someone bought me a pair of shoes.
That's epic.
Amazing.
That's really good.
They're doing great. Man. I love them. Good pair of shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, you were gonna say you might need them for the run.
Oh yeah. I don't want to go back to them $20 Kmart shoes. I'll tell you what. I came back home. I took my shoes off and I was like, it looks like I got a 6th toe.
Yeah.
It was the biggest blister I'd ever seen.
Were your feet all battered up after that?
Yeah, they were a bit battered. Yeah, because when we were coming down the hill, we couldn't run on obviously the road because it was quite busy. But we were running down the hill and we had to run on a gutter. So every time we're running, like our ankles were caving in. Yeah. And it would be our feet would be smacking the inside of our shoes because we're running along a gutter and it's obviously caved in on either side. And So, you know, not even flatting for our feet, and just when we got to the end of it, I'd noticed it because I actually ended up tearing something in my ankle. You know, originally I thought it was a stress fracture. And there's another really scary thing is, you know, I'd done my ankle and I was like, oh crap, you know, I think at this point I was like a month and a little bit out from the run. And so I was like, oh, this ain't good. You know, it was really, really scary, and, you know, and ended up getting my ankle looked at, and it wasn't a stress fracture. Yeah, which is good. But yeah, I must have torn or strained a muscle. But yeah, that was something that was quite scary that came out of the 100K. You know, is I bugged my ankle, and I was like, I can't bug my ankle before the run. You know. Yeah. But it turned out to all be good.
So what other like preparation are you gonna do before the run? Like,
well, actually, yeah, tomorrow I'm doing I've got a 40 kilo pack, and I'm doing a 45 kilometer jog. Yeah. I'm going to try and jog most of it, just a light pace, but there'll probably be a little bit of walking involved. Like, I'm going to be honest, I can't do 45 kilometers with a 40 kilo
40
pack.
kilos, yeah.
Like, it's bloody heavy. But yeah, I think that'll be, I start in Doonan and I'll try and get back up to Mapleton. So I'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, I'll have to do more stuff with the pack, because at the moment, the way this run's looking is I'll be doing the first 7 days completely alone. Yeah. And then my one of my really good friends, he's going to come up because he'll get his P's on the 7th day that I'm out there, and he's like, all right, fuck it, I'll come along. He'll be there, and he'll be with me, which would be awesome. But that's how it looks at the moment. So I need to do more training with a pack. So I'm going to start doing my runs with a pack. Yeah. So I can really prepare for that.
And where will you be on the 7th day, do you reckon? Like, in location-wise, you're not sure? Or
I'm not too sure, but I'm thinking I'll probably be around 500, 600 kilometres in. Yeah. So, look, not too far in, but not...
North New South Wales somewhere?
Yeah, a little bit off there. You know, I'm going to go along the coast. Yeah. I feel like that'll be a lot better, and it's been advised.
Sightseeing and...
Yeah, so it'll be a lot more nicer, you know. I'll be able to enjoy it a lot more, and I'll be able to, you know, the beach, that'll be really good for me, you know, because originally we were going to have an ice bath. We had this all prepped out, sport team and everything, but unfortunate events have unraveled, and I won't have any of that anymore. So I guess the beach, the ocean is the next best thing I can get, because the salt water and all that. So yeah, the beach, so we'll go along the coast and whatnot. So that'll be really good.
Yeah, the good thing about that, like, you have showers and stuff at the beach, you have the salt water, you have like, exactly, you know, probably like a place where you can stop and rest as well.
Yeah, yep, 100%. Yeah, so look, yeah, that's the plan. The first 7 days with the pack, I'll have camping, food, everything in there. And then on the 7th day, my mate will come, and I'll just throw all that in there, and then I'll be running free. Yeah. I feel like I'll be relieved so much. I feel like the moment I take that pack off, I feel like everything will move so much more faster, and I can't wait for that relief, because I know it's going to be crazy good.
Well, it might be the boost you need, you know, like the first 7 days after that, you will feel lighter, you know, they might give you that little extra thing in your mind.
Yeah, give me that little boost, like, oh shit, I can do this, you know, like, let's go.
So is he going to follow you for the rest of the 30 days? Oh, what a guy.
Oh, he's legend.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah, he's the coolest bloke ever.
Yeah. That's unreal. So, like, when it comes, because, like, I know you're worried about your ankle. Are you going to strap up? Like, you're going to strap up your ankles and your knees and stuff?
I'm going to bring strapping stuff and whatnot. But, yeah, look, my ankle's better now, which is really good. I can run on it. I can use it. It doesn't hurt anymore, which is good. But I'm going to bring all that stuff in case, because, you know, if it does start hurting, or if anything starts hurting, it's best to strap it up as soon as possible and just, you know, add some support to it before it worsens.
Yeah, I can imagine, like, Domino's might not be the best for a 37-day run. So, like, what's going to be your nutrition, like, to last?
Yeah, so, look, I'm looking into that at the moment, where I've got Jamie Milne. I don't know if you've heard of him. No. Well, he's actually done this run.
Oh, awesome.
He's done the Brisbane and Melbourne. He did it, I think, 10-ish years ago.
Yeah. That's the guy you want to learn from.
Yeah. So I'm jumping on a call with him sometime next week, and he'll give me a rundown of what I need nutrition-wise. Awesome. But look, yeah, it's going to be just a lot of, like, healthy carbs, I feel like. Looking at it now, look, it'd be like...
Sodium.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Not like... When I say, like, healthy carbs, I mean, like, potatoes and stuff like that. Not like, you know, the shit...
Yeah, you get processed
deep
stuff
fried,
and
deep fried.
Dim Sims.
Yeah. Not stuff from Macca's and all that, you know.
Maybe at the end.
Maybe at the end, maybe a little treat. But yeah, it'll be a lot of that, and look, lots of water, electrolytes. natural electrolytes. Like I was told, like bicarb soda and salt in your water is a really good natural electrolyte. Yeah. So just all this sort of stuff I'll have to have. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man. Like, whereabouts are you finishing in Melbourne? Like, where's the final destination?
Beachfront, right at the front there. Hopefully is where we're ending.
Be ending?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Yeah.
God, it's crazy to think about it. It's a big way. It still rattles me to this moment that I'm doing this, you know?
Yeah, well, you've got all of our support, brother.
Yeah, appreciate it.
What else do you need, like, in terms of sponsors or helping you out? Like, what else do you need? Because, like, there's quite a fair people that listen to this podcast, and also a new audience will come in for that, support you as well. Like, what is it that anyone can help out with or add to, or maybe it's just support and messaging? Like, what can we do to add some value to this? Because it's such a good cause, like running for mental health, this long 20-hour drive, 50 Ks a day for 37 days, like it's massive. Like, what can we do as a community to support you?
Well, look, just, I guess, following along the journey and whatnot would be awesome as well. There's GoFundMes you can donate to for where the money will go to the charities, and it'll also help fund the run.
I'll link that in the bio as well.
That'll be awesome. Yeah, most of the run it'll come out of the back of my pocket. Funding for that, but some of the GoFundMe money will go to helping fund the run as well. But as well as if anyone has any connections with like sponsors or people who are willing to be a part of a support vehicle and whatnot, let me know. That'd be amazing because it is needed. If there's any foundations or mental health foundations listening and whatnot, if they're looking to support something like this and they have a vehicle they can donate, or if they're willing to be a part of a support team and all that, that'd be also much appreciated. Yeah.
And like, if someone's listening to this and you're day 2 in the run, like, oh shit, it's too late to contribute. It's not, is it? Like, they can still get in contact with someone that could get in contact with you and then find a way to make it work.
Make something work. There's always time.
Yeah.
So look, anything helps. Even just listening to this podcast. Because it is the main reason I'm doing it is for mental health. And if you're struggling at the moment and you're listening to some of this, try and take some of it on because it's good information that we're sharing. So even if you're just listening, that's enough support.
Yeah.
But if you can do something more, then I appreciate it.
Yeah. And I'd love to have you back when you finish as well. Like, learn about all the lessons on the way.
Yeah, I'd love to come back and it'd be awesome. I would have learned. Yeah, fuck done.
Yeah. Well, do you have any final messages for our audience here before we wrap up?
Look, just keep being you, keep doing you, and just keep trucking on and just trust yourself and what you're doing, and don't forget to believe. I feel like belief in yourself is one of the biggest things. Yeah,
belief is key.
Belief is key. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, please get on board and support this. It's huge. Like, everyone knows that's listening to this podcast, like how passionate I am about mental health. It means so much to me. I'm sure it means so much to all of you. It's rather you struggle with yourself or someone that has, whether it's a friend, family member, co-worker. So get behind, Ronan doing this and let's support them.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Epic, brother. Cheers.